Today, I don't have time, but one day I'll show you that how is it possible that you can even reprogram your own complete genetic makeup by your own thoughts, my dear friends. So first message is, it's and meditation, you can heal yourself even out of serious diseases. My second story is the power of thoughts and magic of relations. This story completely changed the way I used to practice my cardiology. I'll show you. It was 2018, the day of Saturday. Time was 9:30 p.m. in the night. I was about to leave my lab. Having operated more than 60 cases, I was happy and satisfied. And suddenly, as I was about to leave, there was a voice and there was a lot of noise outside my lab, and a 22-year-old young boy was brought inside with a massive cardiac arrest. Pulseless, BPless, ECG was a flat line. He was being resuscitated, and they told me, Dr. Gupta, isko operate karna hai. You have to operate him. I said, kuch bacha hi nahi hai. Nothing is left. What am I going to do? They said, give it your best shot. We intubated him, put him on the ventilator. Artificial pacing system was inserted, and I took him on the cath lab table and angiogrammed him. All three coronary arteries blocked, and we started resuscitating, cleaning each of his coronary arteries one by one. After 1.5 hours, I could achieve a blood pressure of only 50 to 60 millimeters of mercury. My mind saying he won't survive. Only my mind saying won't survive, my heart was saying he might just make it. And in that particular thought, I shifted him to the ICU. Next day when I went for the rounds, you would be surprised. That young boy was sitting comfortably in his bed, still intubated, blood pressure stabilized, ECG normalized. It was a life saved. Teachers were happy, doctors were happy, patients were happy, sisters were happy, and I was happy we were managed to save that young resilient guy. But that day was one of the most disturbing days. I was thinking, yeah, this 22-year-old young boy had an heart attack. He had been married for 2 years, had a 4-month-old daughter. Why did he have? He was a non-smoker, non-diabetic, non-hypertensive, no smoker, no lipids were normal, and no family history. Why did he have a heart attack? I must talk to this young boy. I went to his father and said, "Iski wife ko bulaiye, I want to speak to his wife." His father took me aside and said, "Dr. Gupta, his wife won't come." I said, "Why?" He whispered in my ear and said, "They are on the verge of divorce, so he won't come. They are going to separate after 1 month." I was frozen in that moment. I had no words, my dear friend. Everything came to a standstill, and after a pause, I requested his father, to call that young lady. Usko call karo and tell what has happened to his husband and ask her, Dr. Gupta wants to meet you. Please come here. Reluctantly, she came there. After 1 hour, I made them sit in the ICU, and you must listen what I talk to them. This will blow your mind. I said, "Kya chal raha hai tumhari life mein? What is going on wrong in your life?" And they said, "Sir, we earn a 6-digit salary. We drive a Mercedes. We have a 4-bedroom plush apartment. There is no problem. But for last 2 years since we are married, we have never connected well with each other. We never had time to talk to each other. We never had time to understand emotions of each other. We have everything materialistic we dream of. We have a lovely child, but our emotional connect is not there. So we thought we should separate from each other." I said, "Perfect decision. You want to separate? Separate. No problem. But will you do one thing for me?" They said, "Yes, we will do one thing." I said, "Only 2 things you have to do. For the next 1 month, sit together for half an hour every day in the evening and have a meal together. Switch off your mobile, switch off your television, no internet. Just connect and have a meal sitting together on the dining table with the young angel. Understand emotions of each other. Talk about the day, how it has been. Argue with each other. There are times when you won't agree, but it doesn't matter. Accept each other the way you are." They said, "If you say, we will do it for 1 month." And the second thing, I said to the young lady, "Dekh, tere husband ko main 2 दिन बाद discharge करूँगा. I'm going to discharge your husband after 2 days. But I'm going to see him in the OPD only on one condition." She said, "What?" I said, "Only if you hold his hand and bring to my OPD for next 1 month." She said, "No sir, not possible." I said, "Please do it now. I am saying, because I am saying you do it." She said, "Okay sir, आप कह रहे हैं तो मैं 1 महीने के लिए कर लूँ." and discharged the young boy. They started coming to my OPD. They came for first month. That 1 week changed into 3 weeks. The 3 weeks changed into 4 weeks. That 4 weeks changed into 4 months. And that 4 months changed into 4 years. Their 4-month-old daughter grew into a beautiful, lovely 4-year-old child. They still come to my OPD. And my dear friends, they have withdrawn their divorce papers. That is the day I understood the beauty, the magic, the power of relationships. Raj Yoga meditation is not about just remembering God. Raj Yoga meditation is about healing relations. This is what God is gifting us. Check each one of you, how beautiful your relations are, how magical your relations are. And that is the day we started doing fantastic experiments using meditation, which each one of you must listen, my dear friends. I collected 150 patients of heart attack between age of 18 to 30 years. They were all non-smokers, non-diabetics, and no other risk factors. What I did was very simple. I measured the amount of stress that they were having. And you know what I did? I took their blood sample and wisely measured their biologic age, or what is called as a genetic age. And you know what were the results? You must listen. All of the young children whom I took, their bodily age was equal to 18 to 30 years. And look at this red graph which you are able to see on the screen. Their biologic or the genetic or the age of the genes was equal to a 60 to 90-year-old person, my dear. That means they are the highest biologic age. In that body of 18 to 30 years was residing an old person of a genetic makeup of a 60 to 95-year-old. Can you believe that? I was shocked. Why this is happening? And I noticed factors. And when we further measured, this is the white paper that we have published. Whatever I am talking is completely scientific. We have conducted thousands of experiments using meditation, and this was published in an index journal. We measured their stress using a validated questionnaire, and look at this, what happened. 91% of them had highest level of psychosocial stress, lack of love, lack of happiness, lack of gratitude, and they had severe level of anger and psychosocial irritation in their life, stress in their life. I said, ये तो होता ही है सबकी लाइफ में. Stress is so much normal. How does it matter? And when I further analyzed, look at this, what happened. We were able to see that those people who had no love, lack of happiness, their life was governed only with ego, with their materialism, they had domestic violence in their life. Their telomere enzyme goes down, and their telomere length or their genetic length keeps on decreasing, and that is what explains the pandemic of depression, of anxiety, of young heart attack, of brain attacks, and also of cancers in young Indians, my dear friend. This is what I want to explain. On the contrary, those people who were meditating had positive outlook, had happiness and gratitude in their life, had great relations and no ego. Their telomerase enzyme increased and their telomere length kept on increasing, and they were healthy. My dear friends, the message that I want to give you is, it is possible to reverse your genetic age, your telomere length, merely by changing your lifestyle. Today, using artificial intelligence, using genomics and collaboration with Triple IIT, we are using power of meditation in people like you and documenting them to reverse their anxiety, reverse their aging, reverse their depression, and give them with happy life. This is where the power of meditation is working, my dear friend. This is where science is going today. It's all about perspectives. The message that I want to give you is this, that the longest ever conducted study by this gentleman, who is Dr. Robert Waldington, the famous Harvard neuroscientist, the longest, which is called the Harvard second generation study, or the happiness study, in which 700 people were followed up for 75 years consecutively, every single aspect of their life measured. They analyzed and they could see there was only one secret to fulfilling life. It was not their money, not their spirituality, not their power, not their ego, not the life incidents. It was only good relations This is what meditation gives us with. This is what I want to tell you, that today it's time to move back from high tech to high touch in our life, to inculcate compassion in our life, to inculcate love in our life. No amount of spiritual practices are good until and unless we grace choices that you are making are completely reprogramming our genes. Spirituality is just not about soul or supreme soul, but how you are using the power of meditation to heal, to transform your genes. This is where science is taking us today. So my second message is, we have the power to regulate our genes and reverse our aging, my dear friend. Inculcate great love in your relation. Manifest peace, manifest happiness in your life, and you will see your genes and your telomere length will start reversing. My third story is the power of thoughts and resilience. Each one of us are facing challenges, and each one of us is made of stories, and mine is life is now different. I was always a great badminton player. Used to play badminton on the state level. It was 21st March 2013. I was playing badminton in the courts, practicing for my tournament. And suddenly, I suffered a severe injury and my spine in pars intervertebralis got fractured. My spine got dislocated and I was having severe pain. I collapsed on the floor of the badminton court. Could not get up even for, move in, not even for a millimeter. I was dragged to my home. Doctors, orthopedicians, neurosurgeon friends, what badminton hua? You lie down flat on the bed. Every day I would get up and see myself playing badminton. This is what I used to visualize. I never used to say I'm bad, I'm not going to do it again. I would visualize I'm going to be fine again, but they would not listen. They would just make me lie flat on my bed. 1 month passed. I rejoined my hospital with a lot of pain and dragging and radicular pain of nerves in my leg. Life was very poor. It was not a good quality. I was suffering with pain. And 1 month, 2 months passed. Every day I used to force them to operate me, but they would just not do it. Ultimately, after 8 months, every day myself visualizing I am fine, I forced them to operate me. On 17 January 2014, I got myself admitted in the hospital. My spine was operated, and this is my picture. 20th January 2014, 1 day after my surgery. Look at this. My face completely spoiled, but there is a joy. There is happiness on my face, a smile on my face, because that day I knew, now I'm going to be fine. I'm going to play badminton. I was optimistic. I was looking at my life ahead. I took a discharge on the second day. I came back to my home on the second day. I started moving around my bed. On 7th day, I was moving in my home with support. On 10th day, I moved out of my home in the garden outside with support. Gradually, I started recovering. Every day, letting go of the pain, I would just see myself back to my activities again, thinking, creating, and manifesting my life. My dear friends, for 1 month, I kept on doing that. After 1 month, I rejoined my hospital. I was able to operate my patients. This was my spinal pictures, actual pictures, where the 4 screws are drilled into my spine. After 1 year passed, I was able to walk for 4 kilometers, and now after 11 years, for 12 years after that surgery, my dear friends, today I walk for 16 kilometers, back to my sports, back to my activities. The message that I want to give you is, he who has a why to live can bear with almost anyhow. Have a purpose in your life. Meditation inculcates a purpose. Meditation tells you that life without a purpose is like a body without a soul. Life is going to give you challenges. They are always going to be there in your life. But don't spiral in the challenges. My message to you is, learn to evolve out of those challenges as you spiral in these problems, my dear friends. Raj Yoga meditation inculcates the power of resilience and creates magic in your life. My dear friends, in the time that is given today, I'm going to share my last story, and that is the magic of manifestation. That how what you are thinking can create magic in your life. You can just attract anything that you want in your life. It was 2001. I had just come back from America. And I wanted to do cardiology. At that time, there were only 5 seats of cardiology in the country. I told my mother, I'm already a MD physician. I don't think I'll be able to clear it. It's very difficult to clear that exam. And she is very positive lady. She called me and said, how many seats are there? I said 5 seats in the country. More than 10,000 people are competing. My teachers, my seniors are giving exams with me. I don't think I will be able to make it. She said, how many seats do you want out of 5? I said, I want only 1. She said, you focus on 1 and let go of the rest of the 4 from your mind. That thing appealed me. I went to my room. I wrote in my book, this 1 seat of cardiology is for me. I wrote in front of my desk and that saying that this 1 seat is for me. And 19th July 2001, I started studying. I had only 5 months. I was working and not just sitting at home. I was also doing my residency, not only in residency in AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. And 9th February, I kept on studying every day. 9th February 2002 was my exam, 3 hours in Delhi. More than 10,000 people giving that exam of 3 hours. I gave my exam and came out after giving an exam at 12:30 p.m. in the afternoon. And not even one person discussed the paper with me. You know what they told me? They told me, Dr. Gupta, you go back home. By 6:30 p.m. in the evening, we'll send you a 100-page question paper with the answers so that you can prepare better for the next year. You'll be able to clear the exam next year. I was disheartened. I came back home. I had given it my best shot. I kept my books aside. I was listening to a nice music and waited for my result for 15 days in an absolutely relaxed, calm mindset. 15 days later, my result came. My rank in the country was first. My percentile was 95%. I cleared my exam. The second, third, and fourth and fifth rank was 78, 77, 76, and 70%. People called it magic. I called it manifestation. The message that I want to give you is the power of thought and the power of yoga can create magic in your life. Don't just attract. People believe in law of attraction. I say go a step ahead and start manifesting in your life. What is the science behind it? Our frontal brain, the prefrontal cortex is one which is the decisive brain. But today, the thoughts of uncertainty, pata nahi ho payega, nahi ho payega, I don't think I'll be able to do it. The fear, the uncertainty, the pain, the negative thoughts is what is controlled by your lower brain, which is called the amygdala. And when your amygdala or the emotional brain is active, your prefrontal cortex, the performing brain, slows down and you drive away your success only and only by your thoughts. Meditation brings certainty in your life. Raja Yoga meditation removes all the fear and negativity in your life. And what happens is that then your prefrontal cortex, your logical brain, is just working and creating success in your life. My dear friends, the message that I want to give you is when you glue your intention with imagination and put a do not disturb sign outside your brain, no power on earth can take away your success from you. Whatever you want, it's already on its way. So note down this message that whatever you want to create outside must first be created first in your mind. It's our own catastrophic thinking, negative thinking that takes away our logical, our success from our own life, my dear friends. In the last, with the time left very less, only few minutes, I would just like to show you that every day we are all gifted with 1,440 minutes, and that means we are every day gifted with 1,440 minutes to make a positive impact. My dear friends, meditation is one of the most powerful ways to rewrite nature's blueprint. Raja Yoga meditation today, in our own studies, is now a proven and a very powerful epigenetic tool. Look at this paper which we have published in patients and people who were suffering from psychological problems and burnout. And by non-pharmacological Raja Yoga meditation, we were able to reverse their aging and also reverse their anxiety and depression. It's merely charging your own soul with God's purity, with God's knowledge, with God's power and happiness. with God's love and peace. And when we are able to embrace our thoughts with all of these, what we experience is called a blissful or a anandam sthiti, my dear friends. You wanted evidence. Look in the end, the evidence for this. If I do your scans, your brain will show this kind of a pattern. A right and left brain which is completely imbalanced, which is leading to anxiety and depression and weakened mental health in our life. But look at this. Only 15 to 20 minutes of meditation creates complete harmony in your right and left hemisphere. Such a brain is more integrated, which is optimized for a mental and an emotional health and much more powerful, my dear friend. This is what you are gifted with today. While you choose to work only with our left brain, which is analytical and accurate and reasoning and logical, my dear friends, Rajuga meditation also activates your right brain, which is creative, which is loving, and which is passionate and which is peaceful. And this is what gives you a complete and a holistic life. In the end, I just want to tell you that a group of people who are very busy went to a sage and told him that we don't have time. When should we practice meditation in our life? We don't have real time. Our life is so busy. We are so worked up. We are so tied up with our assignments. And he politely and smilingly told them that you are right. We are very busy in our life. You just practice meditation only and only one day before you die, and that is more than enough. They were very happy. Only one day before we die, we practice meditation, that is enough. They said, yes, he's fine. That is more than enough. And one wise person amongst you turned back and said to the same, but sir, we don't know when we are going to die. And he immediately smilingly said, when you start practicing it today, because tomorrow what is going to happen, we don't know in our life, my dear friends. The time to change is now, my dear friends. The time to transformation is now. The only message that I want to leave you with you today is take out your mobile and click this slide that your today is the first day of the rest of your life. If you choose, you can redesign your destiny. If you change your thoughts, you can completely change the way you live. It's only up to you. Merely changing of one thought will change your complete lifestyle. This is the magic that we are gifted with, my dear friends. This is what is the power of one thought. Let us sit back for a minute of silence before we end this session. Very peacefully, each one of us, and see yourself as a very peaceful,